Hello, welcome back. Recently I've talked about this pyramid of corruption that seems to be apparent in the Western world, throughout the world. The pyramid that's been outlined by Dr. Catherine Horton, and I thanked her last time for providing this social data, if you like. I'd like to talk about it now in more definitive terms. I mean, last time we talked about how the majority of people do not have these dark traits, psychopathy, malignant narcissism, and the like. They're normal, everyday people, not perfect. They don't tell the truth all the time, but basically their focus in life is family, loving connection, honouring friends, doing honest day's work, and enjoying themselves. And roughly in balance, but the dark sheep are here, maybe only 2 or 3% of the population. But as we ascend this so-called pyramid of power, materialistic power anyway, we see those dark sheep come to the fore because they are winning at all costs. Therefore, if they're competing for jobs, they will win in the current structure. And eventually there's a total so-called winner right at the top. So I'm going to be talking about this pyramid from the top down and how you can apply this, unfortunately, to many corporations, the media, and our legal system, and our judiciary system as well. And that is why we're in the pickle we're in, but understanding, I think, is very important. Now, of course, one takes the risk of being called a conspiracy theorist when one talks like this. And I'm going to put that into perspective. The term conspiracy theorist is used as a term of derision, a put down. Somebody who isn't sure of their facts, that makes wild allegations, etc. I'm turning that around because I believe that to look at the conspiracy, first of all, you have to look at the data, you have to gather the information, you have to be a detective, and in some ways even a scholar. And we can do that like no other time because of the internet. So first of all, we need to gather the data. And if that data tends to conflict with knowledge, current knowledge, let's say established knowledge, then we have to see why. You know, why is there a conspiracy? Is there something that's happening at the top that's repressing this? Or is it that as we go down this pyramid to the base, that there's what we call, let's say, cognitive dissonance, or people who really just are conditioned to believe these guys, and therefore can't believe that this stuff is happening, and what happens in between. So let's go from the top down. Say this is a organisation, and at the top we have somebody with a psychopathic personality, or if you like, a malignant narcissist. That person has no conscience, is happy to lie, is happy to gaslight people, and sleeps at night, and doesn't really feel there's anything wrong with them at all. For him or her to exist, there needs to be a couple of others. Now, these two will be showing psychopathic tendencies, but they may well be, let's say, recoverable medically. They may well have a narcissistic personality disorder because of abuse and abandonment as a child. Got to be careful because they may use that as an excuse. Or may simply be a weak-willed sycophant. Okay. And so generally the psychopath at the top will surround themselves with these people. And then we go down into, say, lower management. We'll find that those who are striving to get to the top there are a higher percentage than in the population, who have these darker characteristics. We can say that at this level here we've got those who really know that what they're doing. They know what they're doing is probably wrong as far as the population is concerned, but they're driven by greed, and right at the top by a comfort in seeing others suffer. So as we go down here, we may well see those who see what's happening and are willfully blind to it. It may well be that they're so ambitious that they feel that if they talk about it, it's going to ruin their career. And they may have a point. They may have, they probably are indebted through mortgages and have family commitments as well. They're actually in a very difficult situation because morally and ethically they're conflicted, and that sets them up for illness. Their immune system will not like that one bit. It will set them up for addictions, drink and drugs, and in fact one of the addictions may be material gain, which will get them into more debt. So here we've got the area of willful blindness. And as we go down, but to a greater part of the population, we have those who really just don't know. If they've got an inkling, they don't feel they have any power at all in changing the system. And those are the people who are have a degree of cognitive dissonance. In other words, they don't really understand what's going on, they don't have time to look, and they're the part of the general population. Now, if we are to do our job properly, it is these people that we need to become aware of the situation. In New Zealand it's somewhat difficult because so many people are rather diffident to this information. They'd rather it go away, they would tend to turn away, and there's a degree of apathy. But it's actually through this group that we are going to make sure that this situation doesn't arise. Just through this group that they will begin to identify there are these people in their midst, and either the good people will leave the corporations, or they'll dob these others in with the support of many others. This is why this whole study of this dark side, the psychopathy, is so important, and how it will lead to great change and awareness, and I believe a happier future. And just one more thing to tie it all together. This pyramid here, of course, exists, as we've said, in the corporate sector, in the world's financial sector, in the legal system, and in the media, which of course is corporate media, mainstream media, owned by 5 or 6 main companies. Corruption in the corporate field is not reported on by the media because of their own corruption, but also because the media has lawyers which prevent very powerful structures like this suing them. So they might as well get together and join in what we would call a conspiracy, even if it's a conspiracy of silence. And the lawyers themselves are sort of protected in the system because the higher you get up, the more corruption there is, and therefore they feel safe because their corruption will be covered by somebody even more corrupt. So that's the way the world seems to be working at the moment. The politicians and the prime ministers and the presidents are down here somewhere. Remember that. That it's pretty well irrelevant who you vote for because it's not going to impact on this at all. But the way to do this is through this social media, through this awareness, because of the numbers. It's a numbers game down here. And more are becoming disillusioned with the mainstream media, disillusioned with the greed of the corporations, and disillusioned with the lawyers and the judges who seem to have lost their honour, even though they call each other your honour. So there's a great awakening. This is somehow driving us to becoming more smart. And so together we are changing this, and if we don't, of course, all this house of cards is going to collapse, and it's going to fall right on everybody below in all aspects. And it's going to destroy our planet, which it's busy doing. So welcome to the world and your place in it and your saving place in it. Thank you. Bye.